Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, my name is Kania Faiza Abdullah with NPM A1B024-041, and today I will be presenting my final assignment for the course Drama in Language Education, taught by Ma'am Indah Damayanti SS M.R.S. For this assignment, I analyzed a scholarly article titled Existential, Anguish, and Moral Dilemmas in Shakespeare's Hamlet, written by Ajit Mondal. And my presentation will discuss Hamlet's existential crisis, his moral struggles, and the philosophical foundation that shape his character throughout the play. First, introduction. In the introduction of the article, Mondal presents Hamlet as a powerful literary work that explores two central themes: existential crisis and moral conflict. Shakespeare portrays Hamlet as a character deeply troubled by questions about life, death, identity, and purpose, especially after the traumatic events of his father's sudden death and his mother's swift marriage. Hamlet's soliloquies, particularly the famous "to be or not to be," reveal the emotional and philosophical turmoil he experiences as he tries to understand the meaning of existence in a corrupt and unstable world. Mondal highlights that Hamlet's relationship, behaviors, and decisions reflect his internal struggle for clarity and authenticity. And this introduction frames Hamlet not only as a personal story of a grief and confusion, but also as a timeless reflection of the human condition. Next part is literature review. The literature review in Mondal's article combines insights from existentialist philosophy and major Shakespearean scholarship. He draws on the ideas of Soren Kierkegaard, who introduces the concept of existential angst, and Jean-Paul Sartre, who emphasizes radical freedom and the burden of personal responsibility. And these philosophies help illuminate Hamlet's doubts, fears, and hesitation. In addition, Mondal refers to key Shakespeare scholars such as Harold Bloom, A.C. Bradley, and Stephen Greenblatt. They analyze and enrich the discussion by offering broader interpretation of Hamlet's psychological state and the themes embedded in the play. By bringing together philosophy and literary criticism, the literature review establishes a strong theoretical foundation for understanding Hamlet's existential and moral conflicts. And next is methodology. Mondal explains that his analysis uses close reading as the main method. He examines Hamlet's important soliloquies and key scenes to uncover the layers of meaning behind his thoughts and actions. And this method allows the study to explore Shakespeare's language in detail and understand how it expresses Hamlet's internal crisis. And the article also applies philosophical and ethical frameworks, using existentialism and moral theory by interpret Hamlet's dilemmas. And these approaches are then integrated through thematics analysis, enabling the researchers to trace connection between Hamlet's existential anguish, his moral struggles, and the philosophical background that influences his decision. And together, these methods create a comprehensive and coherent examination of Hamlet's character. Next is results and discussion. First, existential anguish of Hamlet. The first part of the result discusses Hamlet's profound existential anguish. His soliloquies reveal deep reflection on life, death, suffering, and the uncertainty of existence. After losing his father and discovering corruption within the court, Hamlet becomes overwhelmed by questions about identity and purpose. His "to be or not to be" speech captures his contemplation of whether enduring life's hardships is meaningful or whether death might offer an escape from pain. This existential tension becomes a driving force behind his hesitation and emotional instability. The second point, moral dilemmas. This point focuses on Hamlet's moral dilemmas when the ghost commands him to avenge his father's murder. Hamlet is torn between a sense of duty and his own ethical consideration. He questions whether killing Claudius is truly just or merely an act of revenge. His fear of spiritual consequence, coupled with doubt and overthinking, leads to prolonged hesitation, and this internal conflict extends into his relationship with Ophelia, Gertrude, Laertes, and others, showing how personal connection become entangled in moral uncertainty. Hamlet's dilemma reflects the difficulty of making ethical choices in a morally ambiguous world. Third is ethical dimensions. The ethical dimension of Hamlet's journey arises from the clash between traditional concepts of divine justice and Renaissance humanist values. The gods represent a strict form of justice rooted in revenge, while Hamlet's own reasoning reflects a more modern awareness of moral complexity. This tension makes Hamlet question the rightness of vengeance, forcing him to weigh personal responsibility against external expectation. His action toward Ophelia and his conflict with his mother show how his ethical struggle affects those around him. Through Hamlet, Shakespeare portrays a world where clear moral answers are no longer guaranteed. And the last one is philosophical underpinnings. The last part of the discussion highlights the philosophical ideas underlying Hamlet's thesis. Kierkegaard's concept of angst aligns with Hamlet's anxiety as he confronts the weight of choice and personal responsibility. Meanwhile, Sartre's idea of radical freedom illustrates the burden Hamlet feels as he tries to act authentically while fearing the consequence of his decision. Hamlet's constant self-reflection, hesitation, and search for meaning show how deeply philosophical his journey is. And these existential ideas illuminate why Hamlet remains one of literature's most psychologically complex characters. So, in conclusion, Mondal's article shows that Hamlet's existential anguish and moral dilemmas express universal questions about human life, meaning, justice, and responsibility. Hamlet's struggle to understand himself, to choose rightly, and to act with integrity reflects the timeless challenge humans face when confronting uncertainty. His soliloquies and internal conflicts demonstrate the complexity of being human, caught between fear and duty, hope and despair, action and hesitation. So, this is why Hamlet remains one of the Shakespeare's most powerful and enduring works. It speaks directly to the emotional and philosophical struggles that continue to define human experience. So I think that's all from me, and thank you for listening to my presentation. I hope this analysis provides a clearer understanding of Hamlet's internal conflict and the philosophical depth behind Shakespeare's work.